Pristine is undoubtedly the defining word of the ISimangaliso Wetland Park, and every area within the park is true to this defining characteristic. Sodwana Bay in the Maputaland area of the park is no exception. In the 1950s, the area was declared a national park and has been a protected area ever since. Although conservation has long been part of the mandate of Sodwana Bay, in recent years local people have become central to that plan.
What ISimangaliso's mandate is conservation and development. So as part of our development mandate is to uplift and empower people from neighboring communities. Our major theme is benefit beyond boundaries. And that means that we need to help in local economic development of communities inside and outside ISimangaliso. So as part of our development mandate, we try to assist communities from outside the park. And the enterprise program is one of those skills that we identified. Instead of bringing new development programs that people are not familiar with, we look at what people are already doing in those different areas around ISimangaliso, which was businesses. So that's our development, how we try to help out communities living in and around ISimangaliso.
Being in the wetlands, tourism is built largely around water-related activities. One man is using his deep-sea fishing knowledge to build a business with the help of the Royal Enterprise Program.
The guy that you're going to see this is Themba Nkosi. He owns a fishing charter business up in Sodwana called Tombi Fishing. So he was recruited as part of the Royal Enterprise Program in 2012. And he joined the class-based learning. He's currently completed his class-based training, and he has an opportunity to apply for a grant. We are going to be conducting an interview with him because his application has been shortlisted. What we look at as part of the application is the business financial viability, and Themba Nkosi is one of those businesses which we really like.
The fishing condition is good in summer. But other times it's fish, I don't know, I'm not sure whether the fish can go to overseas to have meetings with other fish, because other days nothing happens, other days good. And with Tombi charters, hey, everything is nice, because firstly the word Tombi charters, Tombi is a Zulu name. That means a beautiful young lady. I've thought that if I name that my boat a beautiful young lady, people they come with their numbers to see this lady that is flying to the sea, that can catch a lot of fish than other boats.
In 2010, Themba's been with me for 14 years now, and in 2010 I decided to make the one boat available to him to start his own charter business. And subsequently he got a concession with ISimangaliso Wetlands Park. And the idea is for him to run his own charter business. He'll be the first recreational charter operator, black operator, in ISimangaliso and in South Africa.
Themba Nkosi has a vision to grow his business. He's noticed a gap in the market.
In 5 years' time, I can see myself in a big place whereby I will have an information center whereby I can help people when they come fishing. Before they fish, they have to learn more about fishing, because we find other times people that go fishing, they don't know exactly what is it that they are going to do inside there. But if there is an information center whereby people they can see and teach them nicely, that can be easily.
There are many other examples of local community upliftment around the town of Sodwana.
The other businesses that you would find up in Sodwana is a bakery. We have Jeffrey Zikali, who owns a bakery up in Sodwana. We also have some candidates that do tour operator businesses, like Jabulani Mbonambi, who owns, he's a bird guide, so he does bird tours up in Sodwana. And we also have Muzi Nomandla, who's an artist. He does craft. So his main target is people, tourists coming in to the park buying little souvenirs when they leave. So those are some of the few businesses that we have in Sodwana.
But people come to Sodwana because it's known as the year-round dive destination. Some of the most unique marine life has been spotted in these waters. This is the only place in the world where you can dive to see a living coelacanth. And it's this rare fish that Triton Dive Lodge owner Peter Tim went in search of 16 years ago.
We started actually looking for this fish in 1998. We had like an official expedition then, and on this expedition we never managed to find one. In those days we only knew of the right canyon, so that's where we were diving. Subsequent to that expedition, about in 2000 I think, we started diving in the Jessa Canyon, which is a bit closer to the beach than Right Canyon. And on one of these dives I had two students with me, and one of the students managed to spot actually the first coelacanths that were seen. So obviously, being a training dive, we had nothing to record this big moment with, so we planned another dive there a month later when we managed to get a hold of a camera that could dive to those depths. And we returned there and managed to find this fish again. And we actually got video footage of it, which we could now send to the guys with the great dust coats to agree or acknowledge that we did see a coelacanth.
The sighting of the coelacanth is an incredible experience that anyone lucky and brave enough to witness will never forget.
When you see a coelacanth, it's almost it's got like a presence, you know. This is a serious fish that you're looking at, and it gives you the impression of looking at sort of like a Scud missile or something. You know, you can see this is it's got more of a presence than any other fish that you encounter.
Deep sea diving is done by a very select number of people, so to stay in business, the Triton Dive Lodge offers other underwater activities.
Okay, we do all levels of training here. We do like charter diving for it as well as training. So just about anything you can do or think of doing as far as diving is concerned, that's what we deal with. Sodwana Bay is one of the best places on the planet to dive. Many people say it's in the top 10. I think it is the top of the 10. So much so that if you go and dive on other places, you always end up being disappointed because you're used to the best when you know, because it's on our back door, on our back doorstep.
People come from around the country and the world to explore the waters of Sodwana.
Really amazing dive, lots of fish life. The visibility is a little bit off today, but that just means that the fish are hunting and there's a lot of life around. It was beautiful.
You know, obviously it's a very famous point to dive in South Africa. The place Sodwana is. So you know, most of the divers come here to see the lots of the creatures and coral. I'm very impressed.
Diving requires some early mornings, so staying over at the rustic wooden Triton Dive Lodge comes highly recommended. The sheer beauty of the area is any photographer's dream. Every year in July, underwater enthusiasts gather here for the Sodwana Shootout. Shooting with cameras, that is.
The Sodwana Bay Shootout, I think this year is going to be the 15th competition. So it's been going for quite a while. And it was originally started by a couple of the dive charters getting their customers together. As underwater photography became more and more available to everybody, they started the competition, and it's essentially available and open to everybody that takes photographs and video as well. So there's two sections to the competition, photography and videography, obviously. And in the past, what's happened is it's run over 2 days, where the guys actually dive and take photos and videos. And then on the final day, there's obviously judging and then the prize giving, where the prizes are given. And typically sponsored by the dive equipment manufacturers and photographic companies and things like that.
With such exceptional surroundings, it would be difficult for any videographer or photographer to get a bad shot. Needless to say, it's not the easiest competition to judge.
Now, what is quite difficult with the judging is that what happened in the past is that the more unique the creature the guys found tended to be judged higher. And what's happened over time is we've tried to change that, so that what we're having is the way we essentially judge is we have a panel of 3 judges and 1 judge convener, and essentially they, per category, because there's different categories in the competition, per category they look at each photograph, and each judge rates the photograph on a score of 1 to 5. And what happens then is the judge convener adds it all up, and at the end of each category we then look at the scores and then decide, you know, who's the winner. And if there is a tie, then they look at those 2 images, for example, and between the 3 of them decide which one is the better one. Yeah. There's no talking allowed during the scoring, so the idea is to score things. It's not about being a technically perfect photograph, but just a photograph that says wow.
For those coming to the competition this July, there are a few accommodation options. One of the most popular is the Sodwana Bay Lodge. Located close to Lake Shazibe in the heart of Sodwana, this lodge is nestling behind the world's highest natural dunes and a short distance from the sea. The lodge has been carefully designed to match the rustic, eco-oriented nature of the region. Although Sodwana Bay is not a town in the true sense, it has a lot of tempting activities that any diver, fisherman or eco-adventurer will find difficult to resist.